Ideal mesmo para o mundo atual seria fazer o ensino médio junto com o curso técnico, certo? É no Senac que o aluno tem autonomia de verdade, formação cidadã, foco na diversidade, preparação para o Enem, material didático sem taxas e muito mais. Na real, tem tudo que você precisa para se sentir preparado para a vida. Seja para entrar no mundo do trabalho ou te ajudar a decidir o que fazer na faculdade. Quer saber? Senac. Vem comigo! Acesse sp.senac.br/ensino-médio-técnico.
This is a HeadGum podcast.
You will Drayla.
Yo, they wanna know.
Hey,
Neil.
hey,
Neil.
hey. I want to be famous.
Welcome to Weekly, the podcast where you'll learn everything you need to know about the celebrities you don't. I'm Lindsay Weber.
I'm Bobby Finger.
And surprise, we said we wouldn't have a new episode this week on a Thursday, but you know what? We do. Surprise to you.
We do. Look at us. Breaking our promises.
But like the good
Even for
kind
your
of.
benefit. Yeah.
So, because we're doing this for you, I have an ask for you. This is not like a, this relationship is not one-sided. It's,
Quid pro
we
quo.
give and we take and we buy tickets to our best friend's tour and support them. Basically what I'm getting at here, not very smoothly, let's be honest, is a reminder that our tour tickets are on sale, our fall tour, our big fall tour, for places like DC and Chicago and San Francisco and LA and New York. And is that all of them? Boston.
Yeah. New York sold out, though, so not New York anymore.
Well, New York Late Show is not sold out.
Oh, that's right. The Late Show's not sold out. Yeah, buy a ticket to the New York Late Show.
So just, if you haven't bought a ticket yet, if you're holding out, you have plenty of time. But I'm not saying that the other shows won't sell out. I'm just saying they might sell out. And so why wouldn't you just get your ticket? Just
Why
get
would
it.
you
Just
just get
secure.
it? Just get it.
Just secure.
A tweet from yesterday or 2 days ago that someone added us like, I'm trying to get my friends to come with me to the Who Weekly show and none of them will. I was like, excuse you. Number one, don't bring this to our attention. Number two, get better friends. If your friends don't want to come to the Who Weekly show, ditch them, okay? They're not your friends anymore.
That's a you problem, not a me problem, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying to you.
It's like, why are you telling me this? Oh, your life is miserable because none of your friends want to come with you to the Who Weekly show? Not my problem, okay?
But to be fair to that fan, I retweeted her and I was like, what's wrong with your dumbass friends? And Who Weekly fans from DC were like, oh my God, come with us. Like, we're going. Don't worry. Just
You're
join
all
the
so
fun,
great.
which just shows how great Who Weekly fans are. So loving, so giving. Another fun fact about Who Weekly fans. Did you know that hooligans in Australia call themselves Ruligans?
I did. I learned that today.
Because I told you earlier.
Yeah, Ruligans.
How amazing is that?
It's really funny. I didn't think Australians actually made kangaroo jokes, but here we are.
Yeah.
I feel like if I would have made that joke, I would have felt bad. I would have been like, ugh.
No, I think
There is something, I feel bad. All of my Australian friends, I immediately start talking in an Australian accent when I'm with them, and I'll make like a oi joke, and I always feel bad about it.
so
But now it's
unfunny,
like,
yeah.
if they're making the joke, well, then,
so. You just show up to Australia, you're just like Vegemite. Oh, awful.
yeah.
Hi, I'm Margot Robbie and I'm going to teach you some Aussie slang. Chuck a sickie? If you chuck a sickie, you're like calling in sick. Avo for avocado, arvo for afternoon. So yeah, like this arvo, we're going to go to the bottle-o, get a couple tinnies. Dax are your pants, like trousers. And so if you dax someone, it's like when you run up behind them and you pull their pants down.
Speaking of bad jokes, we should just get the show started.
Oh my god, we should.
We have a few comments this week. Nothing like you're wrong, but just some fun facts I thought we might delve in.
Yeah, let's play one of them. Here we go.
Hi, Who Weekly. Third time caller, maybe. I'm listening to your most recent episode, and you're talking about Kaylee Cuoco, and you're saying you think she's just a really nice person. Like, maybe she just showed up at the Panera. Like, maybe they didn't pay her because obviously it's out of her price range to be at a Panera event. And the only things I know about Kaylee Cuoco, because I don't watch Big Bang Theory, it's such a waste of time, but my sister works at a Core Power Yoga in San Diego and goes to the Del Mar one to work sometimes. And Kaylee Cuoco has a house in Del Mar and goes to that Core Power Yoga. And she'll come in and she'll take a class. And my sister always says that they have the best on sale stuff at Del Mar because no one there is willing to buy any of the sale items because they're all these rich ladies that it's below them or whatever to buy a sale item. But Kaylee Cuoco will come in and she'll buy the sale items at Del Mar, and she 100% has millions of dollars more than most of the ladies who are in there. So I'm with you. She's nice. That's all I know about her. But your guess that she's a cool person is correct. Okay, bye.
This means that Kelly Cuoco buys things on sale just like me. The most stars are just like us thing you could ever do is buy things on sale. I feel so close to her right now.
Yep, and it's like people always say the reason people are rich is because they are careful with their money. You know,
that's true.
Kelly Cuoco's going to stay rich. Can we say the same about Johnny Galecki? Maybe not. You know?
But I will say about Kelly Cuoco is I don't think we were implying that Kelly Cuoco did this for free. She did not do a Panera beverage station for free. Like, she has money because she's smart with money, too. Yeah. Not just because she's just walking by like, I'm so passionate about Panera beverage station, I'm going to do it for free. Like, our girl is not doing this for free.
And it sort of seems like, I don't know when this became a Kaylee Cuoco stan podcast, but it seems like she just does shit if she enjoys it. Like, she's not gonna. She would not have done that Panera thing if her publicist had said, "Hey, Kaylee Cuoco, do this Panera Bread thing." She would never roll her eyes and be like, "Ugh, I guess."
No,
she must be getting something out of it.
Can you explain to me the opportunity? She's like, "Ooh, I love Panera. Like, what's the opportunity?" Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
You've been listening to this podcast for whatever 100 million episodes, as you definitely have, and you know us by now. You know that if we start off by talking about someone, we usually come around to standing for them. Like, this is not a news cycle. I think the only person we don't stand for by now is Leah Michelle. No offense, but, like, she just has not done anything stand-worthy just yet, for us personally.
No, not at all.
But it's not unusual for us to come full circle on Kaylee Cuoco to be like, she's a cool girl and we stand for her. You know?
and usually when you get to know someone, you sort of empathize with them a little more, and you start to understand them, and you start to say, like, you know what, I might like this person in person, which is why one of the reasons Twitter is so bad and Instagram is so bad, because you're only getting one side of a person, and it's so easy to hate them based on their tweets. But then you get to know them, and you're like, you know what, they're fine.
Yeah,
Kaylee Cuoco, totally. I think, is one better. Kaylee Cuoco, I think, you know what? You're good. Kaylee Cuoco, you're good.
I'm here with Panera today. I'm very excited. They just announced this amazing cup that tells you all your calorie count and added sugar in certain drinks. I'm on television. It's very important that we eat a certain way and we're healthy, and we remember to do it with food, but you have one soda or one tea or one juice, and it's hundreds of calories that you forget about. It tells exactly the calorie count that each one of them has, and I think it's really interesting. It tells what a cola has, which is 17.25 teaspoons of sugar. That is a lot of sugar, and probably you've never thought about it that way. So it's nice to know what you're drinking just as much as you know what you're eating. They came out with some amazing iced teas. They're super clean, they're super light, and you feel good about it. The prickly pear, it's delicious. Really, really good. What's great is it says it here too, not just on the cup, but it's 100 calories with no added sugar. It says it right here. Filled it right up, and it's delicious.
You know what's good too? Panera Beverage Station.
Panera Beverage Station. I remember the last time I went to Panera Bread, and I honestly can't. I can't remember it.
Oh
no, it was when we went to our friend Christine's house, and we went to a Panera near her house. That's when it was. Maybe she loves the free bread. Kaylee Cuoco loves
the free bread's so good. The free bread is the best.
P.S. One more piece of Panera content next call.
Oh, there's more.
Hey guys. So this is my second time calling you today. I'm a freak. I'm really sorry. But I've been listening to your new episode that came out like an hour ago. And you were talking about Kaylee Cuoco, and I saw this already on the group. But Kaylee Cuoco promoting the beverage station, Panera Bread. And as a Panera stan, I probably go like once or twice a week. I don't know why. I can tell you that the beverage stand place has been open for like probably a month now, because whenever my boyfriend and I go, he always wants to try the prickly pear one. He's Mexican. Prickly pears are in Mexico. I don't know. And that's how I remembered. So I was like, didn't we go crazy over this like a month ago? It's not even something to go crazy over. They just have like kind of interesting drinks that you can just like try. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what makes it so funny that you guys were like, oh, maybe she wanted to try it first. This has been out forever, and I'm sorry that I know this. I should be doing something else with my day. Onwards. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you so much for weighing in up with your Kaylee Cuoco thoughts.
And honestly, I gotta say, this caller who says that she and her boyfriend, quote, went crazy when they first found out about the Panera Bread beverage station just shows you that true Panera stans, of which Kaylee Cuoco might be one, will go crazy when they discover this Panera Bread beverage station. So we, like, her glee, her excitement seems genuine and real.
Right. I was just going to say, now thinking about those photos of her reacting so crazy to the Panera beverage station now kind of makes sense, hearing from a real Panera stan saying, this is the joy that I feel when I first saw the Panera beverage station. So maybe Kaylee Cuoco was just doing like really well-researched method work to find out what fans of Panera really feel when they saw the beverage station, you know?
I think so. Next.
Hey, Weekly. My name is Dylan. Short time, first time. And so I was listening to this episode where you talked about Louise Linton, or however you pronounce her name or whatever. And you were listing off her IMDb credits, and one of them was the Heineken Experience Brew You. I would like to say that I'm very proud that I've seen that movie. It is a short film to Heineken Museum in Amsterdam. So basically how you watch it is you go inside a room and you stand on the platform with like 20 other drunk tourists, and the movie is like you're following a guy, but he's being brewed inside a beer, but like the point is that you're also being brewed inside a beer, and so like the stage moves whenever the beer swirls, and like it gets hot whenever it's fermenting or whatever the fuck, and like bubbles come out and shit sprays on you or whatever. And then at the very end, you're like supposed to be in a bottle at a party, and the box opens and someone picks it up, and the guy who is there being brewed alongside you is at the party, and Louise Linton is like, hey man, you're hot, or whatever the fuck she says, and they go have sex, presumably. It's a great movie, favorite movie of the year so far, definitely. Just wanted to give you a little update. Good morning, Bella Thorne. Bye.
Good to know. I'm just happy to get a little insight on that movie that she was credited in, and I can't wait to go see it when I go to the Heineken Museum, wherever that is.
It's in the Netherlands.
I can't wait to visit it.
I don't know why I didn't go. When I was in the Netherlands last year and I didn't go.
Yeah, you didn't see Louise
Linton's I should have gone to see Louise.
Starring role in the Heineken Experience. I thought it was great.
That's really funny. Moving on. We're done with comments. We have questions now.
Yeah, let's go.
Hey guys, Ryan here. Long-time listener, long-time caller. So I was just scrolling through my Tinder feed, and an ad came up, and James Blunt was apparently hired by Twitter and did like a video campaign where he like reviewed people's profiles, and I like clicked on the video and it went to the YouTube page, and it says on the video that he did it a month ago, so August 10th, about a month ago, and the video only has 4,000 views.
Oh, for crying out loud. Are all your photos group shots? It's Tinder Cat, not Guess Who.
So, is this like a failed attempt at doing something very hooey? Like, did Tinder just not put any money behind it? And, like, James Blunt did this video and didn't get any exposure. Also, what has he even been doing recently? Like, why would they choose him to be they call him like their chief blunt officer? Chief blunt officer, I don't know. I'm just like confused about this whole partnership. So if you could let me know what he's been up to, what's going on with this video, it'd be great. Thanks. Bye.
Lindsay, I mean, what do you say to this? This is awful.
I just feel like James Blunt has been popping up everywhere. I guess he's like quote unquote funny. He's a funny guy, so he's doing all this like weird meme based promo where he's, because it's weird because they're playing off that his last name is Blunt, so he's like Blunt. Do you get it? But he also
the worst joke.
Did the same shtick on the Corden show, because when I googled like James Blunt whatever, that also came up. So now he's done it many times. This also, thank you for this call, if only to remind me of the headline, Princess Beatrice slices Ed Sheeran's face with ceremonial sword while attempting to knight James Blunt at party. Do you remember that news story?
How could I forget that story? I mean, pretending to knight James Blunt is a good enough joke, so slicing Ed Sheeran's face open is just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, and when you search him of recent, like what he's up to, he performed on The Bachelor Australia.
There's never been a hometown week quite like this.
This is going to be bloody brutal.
It may start with romance,
James Blunt is performing just to us.
but just wait for the drama.
Surely you can find a girlfriend without having to go on a show like this.
You're just after fame, really. I don't trust you.
You're going to break some hearts, aren't you? She's someone that I really care about. Liar.
Hometown week begins tonight on 10.
And he's on Twitter, like, making, you know, jokes, like, joke guy. Like, he's a funny person, or maybe it's not that he's funny, he's just unexpectedly somewhat funny, which is even more effective than being funny. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because when you're being funny, when you're being, like, too funny, you're, like, trying too hard. And if you're just funny enough and if you're dry enough, then it's like, oh, this guy's funny.
Well, it's also just like his reputation is for that one depressing ass song that everyone knows. So it's like, oh, that like You're Beautiful guy is actually kind of funny. What a random, unexpected thing. Like when Josh Groban got a sense of humor and everyone was like, Josh Groban's funny, you know?
I think it's an easy way in. That particular kind of funny is an easy way in for someone who's otherwise boring and doesn't have much,
Especially if
to
you're
give
a male.
us. Yes,
Yeah.
if you're a guy. It's like you're
If you're a
just
guy.
cute enough, you're just funny enough where like that wouldn't fly for a woman, you know?
No, and it's very, I mean, I think the person who's a woman who pulls this off is Chrissy Teigen, and I can't think of anyone else who pulls this off. Does that mean James Blunt is hooey? Kind of, because he's literally so...
Chrissy Teigen tries harder, and Chrissy Teigen I don't think would ever be described as just good looking enough, you know?
Well, no, but I mean in terms of presenting a personality trait that's unexpected from what they're normally famous for. So like Chrissy Teigen's a model, so you wouldn't expect her to be so funny, which is an awful thing to say, but that's kind of why her being funny is such an effective route, you know, and why it gets her so far. Does that make sense?
No, I mean that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, Chrissy Teigen is way more famous right now than James Blunt, but I think they're both using the same, like, technique in a way. Like, he is definitely coasting off of this.
I mean, I know they wrote songs together, but I'm still sort of mystified by the friendship between James Blunt and Ed Sheeran. They've been friends for a while, apparently.
He was opening for him on tour, too.
Right,
so
but
they
the
were,
opening...
like, on tour together.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is it's wild that Ed Sheeran chose James Blunt to open for him on tour. That's crazy.
I mean, it's not that surprising if you think maybe they just met at some festival or some show and James Blunt is shockingly funny and like Ed Sheeran's like, oh, surprise, and then they just got along. It's kind of like how John Mayer is friends with everyone because he's like tolerable to be around apparently.
No, but wouldn't you expect someone who's currently popular or trying to be popular with teens to open up for Ed Sheeran? Like how...
Yeah, no, you're right. It's kind of a generous gift that Ed Sheeran
very
has
generous,
given
is
James
what I'm
Blunt.
saying.
Yeah,
it's
you're
generous.
Right. No,
James
you're
Blunt,
right.
It's very bizarre to me to see someone who is so famous with young people having an opener who was so famous with young people 15 years ago.
I mean, and defined so famous, like even at the peak of his career, James Blunt has nothing on Ed Sheeran. Yeah. Like Ed Sheeran is huge. Okay, that's all. It's just interesting that you're like, he's everywhere because you're so right. He is everywhere.
I went to one of James's gigs when I was 14 at the Cambridge Junction, and I stole his bottle of Corona, and there was 20 people in the crowd, and then he went on to sell 20 million records. Which is all right, isn't it?
That's where you've got herpes from it.
Moving on.
Hi, Who Weekly. So I know this is kind of old news, but I recently watched the Swish Swish video, and it it drained the life force from me, but while I was watching it, there were two people in the video who I had no idea who they are and, like, why they were in the video. Like, I didn't understand the, like, gags that went along with their characters. There was a woman who was sweating and the person who at the end, like, has a cardboard cutout of them in the video. Like, I'm 17, so I feel like the video had people in it who were trying to appeal to my age group, but I literally have no idea who these people are, and I would love for you guys to figure out who they are and why they are sweating and cardboard cutouts. Thank you. Love the podcast.
I just want to brag about having a 17-year-old who listens to Who Weekly.
We're being listened to by, I mean, even the teens don't know who these people are.
I mean, I just feel really proud about that. Because, like, I'm just not cool on every level, but I just feel like I can influence a teenager's life, you know?
I think it's funny, and it's very, like, peak, out-of-touch adult, which perhaps I am
100%.
one, to try so hard to be relatable for teens that you are even more unrelatable than a normal person would be. Like, at least if my parents were art directing the Swish Swish video, they would just be making like dated references, you know? They wouldn't be trying so hard. Like, the teens would get them and just be like, what? That's old.
Well,
the Katy Perry people tried so hard that they were just pulling from so far out of left field that the kids don't even know what they are.
So we didn't talk about this. We haven't talked about the Swish Swish video yet. We kind of skipped over it. I think mostly because we were just appalled by it. And I remember when it came out,
think about it.
Nobody in our like group text and all these people care about every single detail of pop culture. I mean, this isn't like, these aren't amateurs, right? Like, we care too much. I remember when the video came out, everyone was like, what the hell? And just never talked about it again.
No.
It's so embarrassing. Like, not even, like, I'm embarrassed for everyone involved, and I have secondhand embarrassment from, it even makes me kind of question my life and things that I've done in my life that could come off like this video comes off. Even like, even if I come off 10% as unaware as this video, I need to like adjust my output.
It's a really, really pathetic and desperate thing that's uncomfortable to watch. The song wasn't even a huge hit when it came out. Then they waited 4 months to make the video. The video feels like the beginning of summer, but this was dropping near the fall. Everything about it was just like tonally wrong.
So the video, what it does is it kind of just like is a parade of different memes. Like, it's supposed to kind of, you know, speak to memes. But the problem is that memes are so short-lived now that even a video that references a meme that was like really huge at the time, the meme is irrelevant by the time the video comes out, right? Like, she has, you know, I mean, I remember when she was on SNL, a lot of people called in about this. She had that kid who does, like, the arm-waving dance. He was this meme on YouTube where he, like, did this dance. And, of course, it was, like, funny for, like, I don't know, for a few people for a few hours. And then she loved it, so she brought him on SNL. And, of course, nobody who was watching SNL knew who the hell that kid was.
It was the season finale of SNL, and look who was there. The Rock and Tom Hanks, Scarlett Johansson playing Ivanka Trump, and Alec Baldwin as the president. But it was this unknown kid with a backpack who stole the show.
And then she put him in the music video. And this music video has a ton of different memes. It has, like, Crying Jordan. It has, like, Space Jam stuff. It has... Old memes. It has, it's so embarrassing.
and using an abundance of memes in your new content, like appropriating memes, is old.
Right.
People, that feels like a 5-year-old thing that even then we were rolling our eyes at whenever brands or artists would try too hard to reference memes in order to sound relevant or hip.
10 people listening to this podcast, or about 10 to 15 might say, Lindsay, remember when you hosted a meme-themed Halloween party in New York City for about 4 years in a row? And I would say, yes, I do remember when I did that, but that's when memes were really fun. Like, that's when we all had fun with that, and they weren't evil, and they didn't spread hatred, and they were genuinely funny and somewhat long-lasting. I mean, you could at least think of a meme...
There were fewer of them. There were fewer of them that hit, so chances are more people saw them.
Shout out
And now
Halloween.
there are just way too many memes. There are way too many memes. You can't do that anymore.
Too many memes. Anyways, the two people that this teenager wanted us to tell us who they were, I can tell you. The sweaty person is Jenna, what's her last name? Ushkowitz? God. That's Jenna from Glee.
Okay,
And the other guy, the guy that like turns into a cardboard cutout, he's this guy named Dexter Mayfield, who is a plus-size male model who went viral in this fashion show video where he, you know, walks the runway. But they're probably two of the people... I mean, no one in that video is recognizable. And it's even worse because she has poor Molly Shannon in there, and I'm just like, Molly Shannon, you shouldn't have answered the phone that day, you know?
The saving grace of the Molly Shannon thing is her stuff was clearly filmed completely separately, so it does look like Molly Shannon was there for half an hour, you know?
Well, Nicki Minaj also... the Nicki Minaj part's amazing. It looks like she's calling in from another planet.
Well, isn't she usually? Are we done? Can we move on?
Please.
Hi, Who Weekly. I'm just wondering if swipe up, as in swipe up when you're looking through someone's Instagram stories and they swipe up for more info, is that the new link in bio? Or has that, you know, replaced link in bio as more hooey? I don't know. What do you think? Good for him, Bellthorn.
What do you think?
I don't think it's replacing it because you still need both. I will say that it's probably a little more hooey because Instagram stories generally are a little hooier.
But also, don't you think it's a little hooey because the general public doesn't really have access to it yet? Like, it's still being rolled out to normal people. So for now, there's kind of like a separation between random normal people who can't do it and the celebrities who have somehow gotten access to be able to do it.
Well, they gotten access to do it. It's also just because, like, you won't see... I mean, Kim, the Kardashians do it. But I just think Instagram stories are so much more casual generally. Instagram stories are hooier because they're done on the fly. Seemingly. They're
messy.
They're messy. Where, you know, you wouldn't expect Beyonce to ever really get into Instagram stories because she takes... She's so meticulous about, like, composing the images and doing everything, you know?
Also, God forbid anything she does, like, disappears. Like, that's why. Like, why? I'm desperate to get access to Swipe Up.
Me
like,
too.
I'm if there's anyone out there who can get us access to Swipe
We said
Up,
that
don't
recently.
think... I know, and I just... no, why hasn't anyone given us access to Swipe Up? Don't we know anyone who can help us with this?
I would love Swipe Up. But
Sometimes
I will say...
I just say Swipe Up even though I know they can't swipe up. I'm just wishful thinking, you know?
But the quick, short answer to the caller's question is, I don't think it's the new link in bio. I think it's just like a new thing to do. It's just supplementary link in bio.
Could be the new link in bio, though.
But link in bio isn't going away, you know?
Well, obviously, but don't you think Swipe Up is going to be used more? People are going to say it more because link in bio is more just taken for granted now that you could go to the link in bio, but now people want to encourage the activity of swiping up.
I think it'll be used more only because there are just more Instagram stories, you know?
I mean, I'll tell you who will use it. I will use it if you give me access. God.
Believe us, all we want is Swipe Up. That's all we want in this world. And for you to buy tickets to our fall 2017 tour.
Well, think about the promo we could do if I could swipe up.
True. I went on my personal account. Like last night, I was Instagram storying about how to make an American quilt. How great would it be if you could swipe up to the Amazon page?
Oh my, that's such a lost opportunity.
Oh my God, give me affiliate links. Give me affiliate links.
As if, how many people would swipe up?
I gotta check. If I saw one, I would feel happy. One rental, I'd be happy.
I bet one person would watch
for it.
that movie via your swipe up.
I'd get 5 cents for it. One person, I think.
5 cents? That's very generous of Amazon.
Affiliate links are big business, man.
All right, well, I'm just saying, give us Swipe Up, please.
And I'm just saying, watch How to Make an American Quilt on Amazon. You'll have to pay to rent it. I own it. It's in my video library, so, you know, I have it forever. But
so
we
either
can't all
go
be
to
like
Bobby's
me.
house or rent How to Make an American... Is it How to Make an American Quilt or
How to Make an American Quilt.
Right, okay, cool, got it. Writing it down, thanks.
Winona Ryder, Ellen Burstyn, Anne Bancroft, Alfred Woodard, and Kate Nelligan in a film by Jocelyn Morehouse, How to Make an American Quilt.
Hey, Bobby and Lindsay, it's Jamie. Labor Day is wrapping up, and I need you guys to go take a deep dive into at Nina's Instagram account, and also John Stamos's and Chord Overstreet and a few other people, and just take a glance at the
80s themed Labor Day weekend party they all seem to have. I'm very confused as to like what's happening and who all's there. And I mean, I know why Chord and Nina know, or no, I guess I'm confusing Nina with Leah Michelle in my brain. And I was like, oh, Nina knows Chord because of Glee. But that's not even right at all. So I'm not entirely sure how Chord Overstreet knows Nina Dobrev. But anyway, it sort of feels like a lesser version of Taylor Swift's 4th of July party. There's just a lot of themed photos and lots of people that I don't know. And anyway, it was sort of like a breakdown of who, literally who, all is in these photos. Thanks, bye.
Okay, let's begin with the first question. Why is John Stamos there? We can't figure it out. We don't. There's no direct link that we could find, and believe us, we tried to find like an actual link to these people.
Well, you know someone's going to call in and be like, Nina Dobrev and John Stamos were once on an episode of like blah 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 together, and that's how.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the connection. The only thing I can kind of think of is that John Stamos is just so into like John Stamos promotion right now.
Yeah, and also he's like
everywhere.
He is arguably the most famous person has remained the most famous person from Full House.
No, that's
so
100% true.
So
There's no argument.
He's got this
he's
got this nostalgic tie to all of these people who are currently famous, like your Nina Dobrev. So when Nina Dobrev was coming of age, she was watching Full House. So of course she thinks John Stamos is cool, hot, whatever. So there's something fun about that. And I think John Stamos is one of those people who loves that attention. He loves being known as like, oh, you grew up to be so hot and cool, and we were obsessed with you when we were in our teens. You know, I think he thrives off of that. And
I will say though, it's not a good look though for him to come to a party where everybody is about 20 years younger than him, wearing a shirt of himself 20 years younger. Like that is such only a dude could get away with that. That's such a bad look.
It seems to make sense for him because he's been doing this for so long. Also,
I mean, isn't it just funny that he goes to an 80s party and he's basically himself. He's basically the clown at the 80s party because he is famous in the 80s. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if you went an 80s party, you could put up a Full House poster and talk about Full House, but like John Stamos is the living, it's like you hired an 80s person to come to your 80s party. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean. And I have an interesting parallel, confirm or deny this in a second, but I will say really quickly, he was recently in Grandfather, that show with Josh Peck.
Yeah, I like that show.
And he was in Scream Queens, the Ryan Murphy
I didn't
stuff.
like that show.
No, but what I'm saying is he's met a lot of young people, and I think because he's so down, and he's just this permanent bachelor, well, ever since Rebecca Romaine. Yeah. I think he just has really come to embrace his newfound coolness.
Sure. And
but what I will say,
you don't think that he gets laid so much from this? Like,
so
he must
much.
be, yeah, I mean, he's
so
literally...
Much.
Right.
The only other thing I will say, also he's very rich, because he's just been constantly acting and producing stuff. But
rich.
The other thing I will say is that he reminds me of a more shameless Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum has stayed like Jeff Goldblum has only gotten better looking with age, right? And cooler. Yeah. People still love him. Young people love him. Old people love him.
Oh, and he loves
there's
his
something
reputation.
a little more right. There's something a little more untouchable with Jeff Goldblum, where like you see him and you'd be like, oh, it's Jeff Goldblum, and you would be a little nervous. John Stamos, I feel like, is easier to pin down. You know.
Well, Jeff Goldblum has like a movie career. Like he has more highbrow stuff, and also Jeff Goldblum recently like actually got married and had a kid, so he almost kind of gave into it all. And Jeff Goldblum has like a monthly jazz show, so he's one of those people that you can actually go like talk to. I've been to it. It's kind of strange. But anyways, the other people at this party, it was such a random party, it was Nina Dobrev. Chord Overstreet was in a photo with her and John Stamos. And the connection between Chord and Nina is that Chord is roommates with Nina's boyfriend, Glenn Powell, who is the guy from, what's that movie that came out that got the Oscar? That he was in as an astronaut.
The Martian?
No, the one with
What Oscar? What movie won an Oscar with an astronaut?
Last year. What's her face? And her face. And her face.
Passengers?
No, Natural.
Who won an Oscar with an astronaut?
The astronaut women who did math. Oh my god,
there was no astronaut in Moonlight, Lindsay.
Bobby, the astronaut women who did math. Maybe they didn't win an Oscar yet, but
Hidden Figures. They're not astronauts. They're mathematicians.
Who
what
cares?
Are you talking about?
Bobby.
He was
the astronaut.
He was Buzz Aldrin.
Yes, I'm right. Don't shame me. I just forgot that it was called Hidden Figures.
It's just really funny that the description of Hidden Figures is the movie with the astronaut.
Well, Glenn Powell played the astronaut in that movie.
I see now. I
that
see
wasn't
now.
about him. Anyways, he is Nina Dobrev's new boyfriend. Not really new, but new. They're kind of cute together. And he is roommates with Chord Overstreet. And somehow Chord Overstreet is best friends with Winston from New Girl, who was also there, whose real name is Lamorne Morris. I don't understand how they're friends, but they're apparently close. And then I think they were the only people there that I knew of. And the rest were kind of like yoga teachers and other influencers.
Did you notice how a lot of this Cheek Lane person did not even bother tagging everyone? I think it was just too overwhelming even for her.
Oh, it was so many people. Also, half these people aren't, I mean, I don't know.
They're no one. It really is what the caller said about Julianne Hough's bachelorette party turned up to 11, turned up to 19. It's turned it to an unfathomable level.
Was Julianne busy? Where are they? Where's the Huffs? Where are the Huffs? What's a party about the Huffs?
No, the Huffs were getting ready for Dancing with the Stars, the new season. They're busy. They're training.
All right. I'm just saying, what's an 80s lake party without Julianne Hough?
Also, don't act like 80s lake party is an established thing, event category people.
I like that the caller was this is Taylor Swift's 4th of July party, but not as good. It's so rude.
It's awful. The last thing I'll say is, Lindsay, I found your secret Instagram account, and I'm sad that you didn't tell me about it, and I had to discover it like this.
What is it?
Nina lovers, Nina_lovers.
Oh,
You're commenting on all of these photos.
I started that a while ago.
Hearts. Best squad.
Yeah. I started that before the podcast, and I've just been, keeping it up as her star rises.
You just have to comment on every tag photo of Nina and just add some hearts.
I just remember that Nina Dobrev loves a theme party because she had the La La Land theme party. Remember that?
Is that the one where Derek Hough and Julianne Hough went as Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling?
Yeah, and they stole the party from her, basically. They both got all the press, and poor Nina was like, ah.
Yeah, it's that's why you don't invite Cersei and Jaime Lannister to your party, or else they'll show up dressed like that.
That's also why you don't have a La La Land theme party a month after the movie comes out or whatever. What a weird idea.
I hate these photos. Oh my god.
80s parties are so...
disgusting.
Whatever. Okay. Also, wasn't Full House in the 90s? Did I mess that up a little bit?
Full House was in the 90s.
But in the late 80s, right? Because
Maybe 89, but I think it actually started in 90 or 91.
Okay, so technically they were... But this is technically an early 90s party, even though they're calling it an 80s party.
Well, that's what happens with 90s parties. Whenever if you threw a 90s party... Oh, it started in 1987. I was way off the mark. It started in 87.
Oh,
I will say...
It does count, okay.
The problem with 90s parties, if you or I threw a 90s party tonight, people would show up dressed in 90s and 80s clothes. If we threw an 80s party, people would show up in 80s and 90s clothes. People just, they don't know the difference between the two things.
Yeah, and if you threw either, John Stamos would show up. So I would just say, go ahead and throw that 80s, 90s party, and John Stamos will show up like a 80s, 90s clown that he is, dressed in a shirt with a picture of himself in the 80s, 90s on it.
Also, another thing I hate about... We're spending too much time on this, but I just have to rant really quickly. Another thing I hate about... decade-themed parties is because people always claim ownership of decades that do not belong to them. We didn't live in the 80s long enough to really be 80s children, the two of us. But a lot of people our age are obsessed, call themselves 80s kids. And they were not.
Do they?
A lot of people do.
Okay.
And I think there's an ownership problem when it comes to decade parties. And people really need to check themselves before they start referring to themselves as a product of a particular decade.
Will nobody remember the 90s? That's that question that I always come back to. It's why won't anyone remember the 90s? Why won't they?
Everyone is unwilling to remember the 90s. No one will do it.
Will no one remember the 90s? Okay. Thank you for joining us for this long and winding journey. Another week, another set of wonderful calls from you wonderful people.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there? Make sure you buy tickets to our show in case you forgot when we're
going to keep saying that until they're all sold out.
Hey man, DC's got a big venue. I got to fill those seats in DC. I know you're out there.
We want to sell out. It'll make us so happy.
I see you listening, and I know you're out there. So if you are listening to this podcast and you're not at least considering, you're not at least going to the website to see when the tour date is, see if you could come, then shame on you, because it's going to be super fun. And like, what even is the point of listening to a podcast if you can't go see it live and hang out with all the other listeners and like yell the song live and do all the stuff, you know?
I agree. I don't know. After feeling the first thrill of a sold out show, I just like, now I'm addicted to it. I'm addicted to it, Lindsay. I gotta sell out.
I'm just saying you will just not be disappointed. You really won't. And just, it's an amazing opportunity to...
We have to stop talking. We have to stop.
Leave your house.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Keep calling. You guys are the best for calling in. More scoops. We've been getting such good scoops lately.
Good scoops. Yeah, it's like, why even read magazines if you could listen to Who Weekly? Get one scoop. Okay, bye. Goodbye.
You or Drayla?
Yo, they wanna know. Hey. Hey. Come on. Hey. I want to be famous.
They're super clean, they're super light, and you feel good about it. The prickly pear, it's delicious.
That was a HeadGum podcast.